Hi guys, so what I'm going to do is teach you guys how to take measurements of what we call a kameez, like this. Reason why we're doing this is because I've had a lot of people ask me to show them how to simply make a kameez. So to start off, I have to show you how to take measurements and get them right, and once we've done that, we will go on to step 2, which will be to make a template of your own size. What this is a sketch of what we're going to make. Don't worry, I'm going to upload this so you will be able to get a closer look at it, and you might be able to download it and actually use it. If not, you can just do a quick sketch. It's quite easy. So the black lines is the outline of the kameez, or the dress if you like. The blue lines with arrows are showing you from point to point what you need to measure, and then in purple is written what the part is called. And I'm going to show you now, using my kameez that I showed you just before this, how to do the measurements, and then we're going to write them down on here so we know what the measurements are before we actually start our template. Right, here's my measuring tape. Make sure you're using the right side. So this is the inches, it's bigger, and that's centimeters, so we need to be using inches. Okay, so this is how you measure the shoulders. Right, see where that's joined from there exactly. Put the end bit there and measure all the way to the other one. So mine is coming up at 14 inches. So now you need to write that in here. So mark that at 14 inches, 14 inch. And then we're going to do so on for the rest of the parts, and I'll just direct you through them. Now we need to measure the bit that's in between the chest and the shoulder area. So the bit that's furthest in, so here, I'll put it there, and then all the way across to the other line here. So that's in between your sleeves, above your chest area, this here. So that's 13.5, and I will mark it here at 13.5 inch. So this we call the chest area, but it's measured from that bit there, just below the armhole, all the way across again to the other end, and that's coming up at 20 inch. So I will write it down where it says chest, 20 inch. Right, we're measuring the waist now. So with the waist, if you look at where the opening of the hip bit is here and where we measure the chest, you've got to be almost in the middle, which is the smallest part. So find the smallest part and then all the way across, and that's coming in at 18.5 inch. So 18.5 inch. So where your hips are marked, that should be the widest part down here, just before where what we call the jock, but opening of the kameez. So from one end again all the way to the other, and it's coming in at exactly 21 inch. Right, so where it says hips, 21 inch there. So now we need to do the width of the kameez, which is the bottom end. You just need to measure from end to end. It's coming in at 22. If your kameez is any less than that, I would generally say that's wrong, because what you need to remember is whatever size your hip comes in at, the width of your kameez at the bottom should always be an inch bigger as a straight kameez, so always 1 inch bigger, and this is exactly right at 22 inch as it should be. So 22 inch. So for example, if your hip comes in at 22 over here, I would say the width of your kameez should be 23. So now I'm going to do the length of the kameez. The length of the kameez is measured from the highest part, the shoulder bit here, going all the way to the bottom end. You don't have to stick to what you've already got. If you would like to make it any shorter or longer, that's up to you, but I'm going to stick to what mine is coming up at 37 That's an average size for me, but you can always lengthen it or shorten it. So my kameez length is here, which is 37 inch. Right, again, now we're going to measure the length of your sleeve. Again, you don't have to stick to the size that you've got. You can make it shorter or longer. However, I'm going to stick to the length that I have got because this one fits me perfectly. So you measure from where it's stitched and all the way to the end, and this one is 23.5. Yes, I have really long arms, and on average you get around 20 to 21 inch, but mine is 23.5, and I'll put that here. Right, so lastly we need to measure the opening of the sleeve, and that's just the front bit here where your arm goes in. Depending on how fitted you like it, again, you can change it. I'm going to stick to 5 inch, and that will be marked here.